Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to game number 2 of CLG versus EG. You're watching Beyond the Summits World Tour. This is our semifinals, our second semifinal. The winner goes on to face IG. Best out of 3 action for the semifinals, and then a grand finals best out of 3. It will be East versus West no matter what. Right now, CLG in the pole position, poised to take this series after a slow, a steady, at times painful to watch, I think, for some of the viewers, but very convincing game number 1 victory. CLG on the Dire. Yes, they did switch the sides. EG on the Radiant. Very standard bans across the board, and EG, once again, they turn to the Tinker, hoping this type Bulba can carry them to a victory.
And hoping that we're not going to see a 6 kill at 25-minute mark and 80-minute pushing game, because Tinker will make those games happen, especially when CLG refuses to go initiation. But seems like a different avenue of push. Lone Druid gets picked up here. Very, very good for team fight engagement. Of course, very good for long extended pushes, as long as Bear does not die, which that's kind of a big if, because that Bear is going to get focused.
Yeah, I expect that it will be. And guys, for anyone watching on Dota TV, we apologize for the audio not being perfect for game number 1. Hopefully I'm a little bit more audible. If I'm not, let us know in the stream chat. One of the admins will contact me. We'll try to get it sorted out. But for CLG, it is Lone Druid and Venomancer. Good push, good lane control early on. EG, well, they get something that really synergizes well with the Tinker, and that's the Broodmother. Now they have great split push potential. They can try and spread the map. And I like this draft already a bit better than the last one. The Storm pick great in theory for the double global option, but this gives you a guaranteed split push, and we saw last game, even if Broodmother doesn't have a great start, will it normally at some point just become a total nuisance to deal with? There is a Sand Cane available. If CLG want a hard counter this Brood, they're probably going to have to pick it up now. Tidehunter available as well. Where are they going to go with this?
Ancient Apparition is the pick for EG. I think you might be asking where CLG going to be going with this. Is this opening of a CKA lane? Is this the opening of a global strat? A strat that I was referring to in game number 1. EG love to run this Beastmaster, Ancient Apparition, Tinker, Prophet already banned out, but there's a lot of other global heroes in the pool. You just don't pick into Ancient Apparition, third pick, kind of, willy-nilly. This has to be a big part of the strategy, and EG pulling it out with their backs against the wall. If they're out of this game, or if they lose one more, they're out of the entire tournament. So this is do or die here for EG, and Ancient Apparition third pick, something that we don't see at all.
Yeah, we're going to have to see if they can actually make this one work. AA picked up, and, well, it gives them great global anti-push here. It can also be very effective against a hero like the Lone Druid or the Beastmaster, because now CLG is starting to look pretty scary with their split push potential. This Beastmaster gives you some good lockdown as well for the Tinker or the Broodmother. We saw last game it was a Night Stalker with a gem and an Aghanim's putting pressure all over the map, really locking down EG, limiting their mobility. Beastmaster not quite as mobile, unless he had something like Boots of Travel, which is an option, but nonetheless he is going to provide them with that scouting ability with the Hawk, as well as some lockdown. So even though they have Tinker and Brood, EG will have to be careful about where they go.
Trying to take care of making sure the audio is okay. Seems to be okay for now. Right now we're getting a mix of reveals. Some people say it's loud, some people say it's not loud. Man, I think technical difficulties is always very difficult to solve. But Beastmaster gets taken up by the CLG side, somewhat as a counter by picking it up, as well as somewhat as a really, really good anti-ganker with that Hawk in the air. And of course, this is a dire side on CLG, so they can be stacked ancient pulling. Venomancer could be doing that. Of course, Beastmaster could be doing that by himself. And the laning is kind of versatile right now because, I mean, just as I was talking about Beastmaster on the bot lane, he could just as easily go mid with the Beastmaster. Lone Druid could go mid. We've seen Lone Druid go on the long lane, definitely on the safe lane up top. So a lot of options in terms of laning for CLG, and this is exactly where you want to be going into the draft. You don't want your lanes to be predictable. Also, Chaos Knight is going to be banned out here. As CLG, seeing that third pick Ancient Operation, thinks to itself, AACK is definitely a very, very potent lane, so let's take away the central piece from that and bans out the CK. Chen's going to get the ban here on the other side, not want to deal with coming out of jungle and ganks. Let's see if Broodmother is going to be paired up with a jungler of his own right, because what we do see from time to time is Broodmother lanes with a support. Sometimes we see Venomancer, sometimes we see Lion, and then that support just go into the jungle with Spiralings and farm up and get quick EXP that way. It can be done. I'm not sure if EG's going to do it, though.
Yeah, we'll have to see. That's more of a Chinese style, but it's certainly an option for them if they want to do so. Lumi, in the end, I turn off the decibel boost. Seems like the live stream audio is pretty terrible when I turn it on. So maybe what you should do, I believe with this decibel boost off, I'm too quiet in game, which means I can't really up my volume anymore. I'm maxed out. So if you could go ahead and just lower your in-game transmit, maybe that'll help synchronize things up. I believe you can do that in your Steam settings if you right-click on the Steam icon. Again, guys, sorry for the audio issues. Everything was working fine when we tested earlier. Not sure what's going on now, but hopefully they will be sorted out for those watching in-game. If it's really bad, I suppose you can always watch on the stream, the live stream, and the audio level should be a little bit better there. So let us know if it's fixed. If not, I'll see what I can do. But at this point, pretty much out of options for anything on my end to fix it. So if Lumi can lower his in-game, maybe that'll synchronize things up. But Enchantress and Chen were the final two bans for EG. They now have banned out all of the junglers, not wanting to deal with those early aggressive ganks, and they pick up a Tidehunter. This gives them some good team fight. If they want to go for a head-on clash, they now have a little bit more viability to do so.
Okay, I've lowered myself. Hopefully, we'll get the feedback here from our spies. And Tidehunter's going to get the last pick here. A lot of AoE. If that Tidehunter Ravage as well as Ancient Aberration combo ever hits, it is devastating with March Machine on the background. That March Machine is also absolutely insane in terms of damage dealing. We saw that in last game. But I feel like that right now the CLG team is a little bit more capable, a little bit more ready to deal with it because they have the Beastmaster. Beastmaster initiation range is very, very high, especially if you pick up a Blink Dagger, or even more like rare, you pick up the Acceptor. There's even more initiation. Brewmaster gets picked up. That's all the initiate you will ever really need, especially against a Tidehunter. What is Tide really going to do when Panic blinks and clap and then just toss the Tide in the air? Like, the team fight's basically going to be removed.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what they do at that point with the Brewmaster picked up, and you know, you can throw them up in the air. It's also good here to deal with Broodmother, as well as basically with this Brewmaster pick and the Beastmaster. They now have one hero who can get them just the lockdown, here to focus. Lone Druid and Venomancer provide you some damage, some chasing power, and now you have Brewmaster who can remove the other supports from the fight while you get that pick off. So on paper, CLG's lineup looks incredibly potent here in team fights, and surprisingly, you might not realize it for some of the less experienced viewers out there, but Lone Druid is actually a fearsome tiered fighter because of the entangles, because of the damage he provides, and because he's so tanky. This is a hero, although he doesn't have any direct team fight abilities, can be a total nuisance in fights. Also, if he ever gets something like a Radiance up, which I believe Misery normally goes for that. We'll see which way he wants to go here, but that will make life difficult if Tide ever wants to get a Blink, if Bulba wants to do so. Now, the Force Staff and Bulba, that could be a difference maker. That could help a lot. Ghost Scepter as well can help you deal with some of the Lone Druid's damage, but there's plenty of nukes, and here you go for CLG. They round things out with a Shadow Demon, so their lane's looking very potent here.
And now we're going to see a farming Venge, I believe, or at least Venge is going to get some farm because Pusher's going to be playing the support Ancient Aberration, Universe on that support Tidehunter. As I say that, never mind, he grabs himself a Stout Shield. He's going to be moving to a farming role, Universe generally plays predominantly the support role here. Going to be going up top on the Tidehunter. Pusher, like I said, is going to be playing the Ancient Aberration. Bulba on the Tinker, once again going to the mid lane. Fear. Hold on, this is Fear playing the support Venge. Okay, with Sentry Boards up, and it's Demon on the Broodmother. Roles being swapped up all over the place. My bad for getting completely confused. But Fear on the support. Wow, I have not seen this.
You're not the only one. You're not the only one.
I was the only one, sorry.
No, you're not. You're not the only one who's confused right now. I am as well. This is kind of bizarre, to be honest. Universe will be the farmer. Maybe they just feel like experimenting. We'll have to see how Fear plays this. It could be an active roamer. Gush to start an akke. This will be a pretty aggressive dive. No, the Sentry Ward goes down. So not only is it the role switch up here, but something we don't see much of out of EG. If they have a jungler, they will tri-lane a lot of the time, even offensive tri-lane. But we don't see them run a laning tri-lane very often. Maybe it will be some sort of roaming action with Universe soloing the lane. The smoke is picked up on Fear. This is not the EG that I'm accustomed to seeing. A lot of standard picks on the Broodmother and the Tinker, but the way they're laning this and the role switch up for Fear, very unconventional.
Yeah, I gotta just say, whenever we see a trialing like this, we gotta just discuss why the trialing on the Radiant side is just completely disadvantaged. We do see very, very nice Sentry Warding here, trying to block off that pool camp. I do believe that does block it off, but the options here for CLG is plentiful. They could pull the level 1 camp, they could pull the high level 1 camp. They could just straight up trialing against you with the defensive tower. I just feel that, of course, with Venomancer and Shadow Demon, two of the best defensive hero outright in the early game, I feel like CLG, unless they make a big mistake, they should be absolutely prepared for this.
It's weird, you know, normally the tri-lane with the 3 nukes, you'd think that's pretty strong. I mean, you run this tri-lane to get kills, but I gotta say, I'm a lot more afraid of CLG's ability to get kills here. It's all single target nukes, and there's no real defensive power. Disruption to start, Gale to follow. They're not actually going to go for the kill, but once Panda gets level 3, as well as level 2 up on the Shadow Demon, I feel the kills are just going to be theirs to claim, whereas even if EG go in, there's always Disruption, there's always Gale. To me, this tri-lane is just a lot weaker for EG. If they play it really well, maybe they'll find a kill, but I give a huge edge, not only in terms of the lane position, but also the hero picks. This lane, to me, heavily slated towards CLG. So let's look at the other lanes. It is going to be Misery up against Bulba middle lane. As far as heroes to deal with that Tinker go, Lone Druid pretty strong in the lane to deal with them. Not really going to be able to push out the lane too much if it's a March build, but Bulba's not going for March. He's going for the dual nukes here, and that might give the heroes some problems. But the last hitting power should be on the way of the Lone Druid. Bottom lane, finally, it's Lacoste up against Demon. Probably going to be going for that Tranquil Boot Soul Ring build. Overall, I'd say these two lanes are pretty even, so it's really this top lane we have to keep our eyes on.
Yep. Back on the mid lane, though, just one thing to point out is that Misery, he's taking a lot of physical right hits, but once that level 5 bear is online, I mean, he should be fine. He's going to have to pull or get himself a little bit more regen, but overall, I don't think kills are going to be coming out this lane. You're absolutely right. Kills going to be coming up top. They're trying to de-ward that Sentry Ward. I do believe that Sentry Ward sees the other one, but it has not been de-warded. Not too sure because they couldn't find it, or it's just a little bit out of range.
It's such a good place to put a ward. Very unusual. Also, he did it from low ground to high ground, so they didn't even see a move over there. CLG being a bit flummoxed by this, and in the end, they abandoned the tri-lane. They smoke gank towards mid. The bear trying to scout things out. Not actually going to catch Fear. Fear leading on the front lines. Of course, the bear does not reveal you, but look at the positioning for Misery. Perfectly hidden away in the trees. Ensconced there, if you will. I don't see how they're going to get this kill. In fact, I could easily see this turned around and going the other way. And Misery, in fact, running towards the bottom rune. He knows they're missing. Very good play by him.
Right, he's gonna be, hey, meanwhile, let's get a rune. He's gonna send an illusion, and I don't think those illusions will bait out any spells or stuns, but they are in position. I think they are gonna make this big dive, and with Tinker on the back lines, all they really need is that single magic missile, and that's gonna do it. Illusions being revealed right now, very patient as the two supports here on the Radiant side. Smoke has long ran out, pusherstreet a little bit lagging behind, looks like they want to journey back top. Here's the thing though, without the Eventual Spirit and Ancient Apparition lane, Panda's just having free farm, and there's nothing that Tyhunter can do about it.
Yeah, he's having free farm now. He's still only got 7 CS. On the bottom lane, it's a Broodmother 15-1, Beastmaster 14-2. This is a big lead for Demon because he's killing real creeps, whereas a lot of the kills for Beastmaster are the spider leads. But more importantly for the Beastmaster, he's getting the levels, and that's really what you strive for in this offlane Beastmaster. Not yet stacking the Ancients, but could always look to do so if he would like to, either with the boar or with some axes. So we'll see where he wants to go. But for the moment, he's holding onto the tower. Demon's not going to have an easy time knocking down this tower. He will pressure, but I just don't think EG's getting enough. I don't think these trades on the two solos are sufficient. The smoke gank failed. That was sort of their plan B for this tri-lane. And now what are you left with? It's a Brewmaster getting a lot of farm. It's constant pulls into the jungle, which are only going to increase now that Sentry Ward has died off. CLG looking pretty good here at the early laning stage.
Also, Beastmaster going for a build that we don't see too often anymore here. It's going to be going for the Aura build. Aura usually a very popular and powerful build in mid lane because you want to push the creeps across the river and grab yourself, bottles and or fill your bottle with runes. But in this case here, going for the Aura build means he doesn't have the quill piece for the pull. He's not even going for the pull. This means that he doesn't have the level for the axes either. So it's quite an awkward build, especially on this bot lane.
He may just want 1 point in the Hawk to scout the rune, and then he's going to go back for just leveling up the R and the axes. It would be a little odd for not to level up axes, since it is going to be Soul Ring, Tranquil Boots, almost certainly for him. Tranquil Boots already picked up. Soul Ring normally complements this beautifully. Here we go. EG might get their initiation top. Gush, Magic Missile, pretty good coordination there. The clap to follow. Actually, not quite enough. They do catch him, but again, how do you kill this lane? Pajkatt's so damn tanky. Already has a point in Drunken Brawler, which means 800 HP, and that evasion is big against a tri-lane. So many auto attacks that can be dodged, even a single point quite effective. Shadow Demon is free to pull, and they're really not worried about this Panda dying. Pajkatt already level 4, and I'm getting worried for EG. It's not really now that they're going to struggle. It's once this Panda hits 6. To me, it's guaranteed kills on these squishy supports.
It really is, but I mean, how is Panda going to get near, right? I don't see any really good initiations. I get with Disruption coming in, that can't be it, or Venomancer Gale, but it's off to, it's going to be EG making mistakes for Pajkatt to pick up those kills. So with that said, I imagine EG's position is going to be good enough. Another long smoke gank going to the mid lane. It's Well, they're not going to gank mid. Looks like they want to gank Beastmaster on the bot lane. You can see the Spiderlings getting position to do a little bit of blocking against Lacoste. Lacoste does sense it coming. Uh-oh, he's going to run right into these two supports.
Oh, he's going to spot them from the high ground. The Hawk is there anyway. And it looks like, what has he done with his level? He has hit level 6, so he's got the ult. We'll have to see. I'm guessing he's going to max up the Axis here to really help him deal with the Broodmother.
Oh, mid lane.
Ooh, here comes the dive onto Misery. Cold Feet Magic Missile. That's going to be a first blood for sure. The level 3 laser picked up by Bulba. Goes back for point in March to help push the wave. And, well, we see why. Because when he pushes the wave, that means they have the creeps to tank the tower. And Misery picked up bottom by Beastmaster. Not going to be able to do too much. And I guess the one weakness for CLG right now in their line, well, not the one weakness, but the one drawback to having this Beastmaster bottom is he's really your best initiator. You talked about a top. They don't have too many ways for the Panda to get in range. Maybe Gale or Disruption, but they're not super long range. The one hero who can set them up kind of has to stay bottom to deal with Broodmother.
Yep, and he's going to have to stay bottom because if he leaves the bot lane, it's going to get pushed. Now, with that said, once Venomancer gets like level 5 or perhaps level 7, he could actually just go to bot lane and just put like a billion wards and start to deal with them that way, but he's a long way off. They do see Bulba here. There's a Soul Catcher Disruption. Gale's gonna perfectly hit on top of that Martian Machine. Question is, how much damage will it do? Will it be enough though? Bulba is gonna get picked off. A little bit juking here. Miracle is gonna get the uphill miss. Nope, they're gonna get the kill. Both teams expensive ganks. Two supports constantly roaming off the map. And the question is, who's actually getting the more farm on the top lane here? pajkatt with 26 creep kills, Universe 19 and 7 deny. So kind of even, I want to say, a little bit deny favor on the Radiant, a little bit more CS favor on the Dire. pajkatt Arcane Boots instead of Phase. Very interesting.
This is pretty interesting. We've seen 3 smoke ganks now for 2 kills. It looks like top lane, they're going to make a dive on the Universe. No Ravage picked up. Huge time to get this pick off if they can do so. Looks like they might have enough. Panda ult even expended here. Everything in the kitchen sink being thrown at Universe. He will take a fall. No way he's getting out of this one. One more right click brings him down. The Panda ult used, but now they can look to push the tower. And Venomancer, or excuse me, Ancient Apparition and Vengeful Spirit, this is their weakness as supports. They can't do anything to deal with this push.
Yeah, I mean, 2 supports that doesn't have any type of AoE, or at least not until that Ancient Apparition is level 6, which is a little bit quite far away from that, and that tier 1 tower is going to get picked off for free, basically. Here's the thing, there's really no good counter pushers. I mean, there's a Broodmother, but Broodmother's easily dealt just by having a hero in the lane. All these wards are starting to get stacked up. The question is that tower going to get denied? Because all those Dire heroes are very low. You can see that in Miracle is going to straight up TP home. Hopefully he could join back, and the tower, is it going to get denied at all? No one's going to walk.
Look at the ward
denied. Oh no! Were the wards not being micro properly? I think they were hitting creeps.
No, he was stopped canceling their attack, trying to sync it up properly. Just wasn't able to do so. Bottom lane though, it is Lacoste getting caught out. That level 3 laser just chewing through his HP, and with this kill, the push is going to come hard and fast on the bottom lane. Wow. Yeah, he tried to. He had all the wards selected as a group, and he was trying to stop cancel them to find the right time to attack the tower, but just mistimed it a little bit, and the tower gets denied.
That was a big loss. They used a Panda ult for the TIE Hunter kill, and for that 1-for-1 trade, I would not say it's worth it. If they got the tower, they would be fine, but they missed the last hit on the tower. Meanwhile, the bot tower getting heavily siege upon. You can see Fear just putting his body in the front, making sure that the Shadow Demon could never come in. I could bet you that there's no deny on this tower, as Demon passed it that one for free, and he's off to a beautiful start.
Wow, look at middle lane. Misery gets a solo kill on Bulba, diving so deep in enemy territory, gets away scot-free. Not often you see a lone druid, not even in ult form. He hasn't opted for a point, it just wants to be mobile around the map. And the Tranquil Boots will help him to regen up. I love this item pickup so much in Lone Druid because when you get your ultimate form, you can just switch into range and the heal will benefit you way more. And then you morph back into melee form. So really good pickup from him. Also good in the laning phase, and a solo kill on Bulba. Oh, my mouse kind of slipping around there. Still, even though Bulba dies, he's still pretty close to his boots of travel. And that's going to help with the counter push. This is the one hero who can give CLG fits. We saw it last game. I think we will see it again this game as well.
Yeah, well, here's the thing though. I mean, one thing that we want to talk about is Lone Druid, especially Lone Druid on the Dire side. Lone Druid with Aegis is one of the actually the most broken thing because the way the hero works is you want to put a lot of your damage item on the Lone Druid, on the Syllabare, the bear itself, sorry. And if your hero dies, that bear is still around because your hero's, you know, responding and whatnot. That bear is still right there to right click all day long. So essentially, your hero is basically, you know, not on the map, but your highest DPS source for the hero is still right there. So we're gonna see something like that. If CLG picks up the Aegis, it is gonna be all but impossible to deal with.
Look at the defensive posture from EG right now. Everybody hiding behind towers. Bulba dropping March from the right side of the... It's great positioning by him. You got to credit for it. But CLG just in full command right now. And for EG, they know they can't take a fight because of that Panda ultimate, as well as the burst damage from these supports. Tower will go down mid. Last hit by Misery on the Bear. And here comes the big fight. Ravage is available. Panda ult not used just yet. Will we see the Ravage? Needs to be perfect. Cat starts to cast it, cancels it. Great control there of the hero, but still he's not getting off. The Panda ult goes out. Bulba so close to those boots of travel. Will they be denied? One more boulder toss should do him in. Meanwhile, Roar into pusherstreet, but it's Bulba. I want to keep my eyes on one more boulder toss. The Storm Panda gets in range. pajkatt kills him. A huge kill. And in the end, it looks like it will be a 2-for-1. Shadow Demon goes down. Ravage not forced out, excuse me, what am I talking about? Gush onto pajkatt, but Ravage just not being used there. And you talked about it in the pregame. Ravage is such a great teamfight ability, but against Panda, you really don't want to waste it when he's in ult form, and that means Bulba's boots of travel, they are delayed even more.
Yeah, the only thing right now going for EG is that Demon has been pushing and pressuring that tower, but you can see the rotation from Lacoste getting in position. Just going to chop down some Spiralings, but Demon says, I don't care, I'm going to turn on my ult and right-click your tower. No glyph up available here, and it looks like the Hawk's going to get immediately slaughtered as well. Demon now just taking a little bit of tower focus. Oh, Demon perhaps in a little bit of trouble. He gets the last on the tower. The question is there any dust? No dust. Oh no, CLG missing that kill. And another tower goes to Demon.
Wow, we saw it last game, one of the rare games where Demon gets shut down. Guess what? Demon gets a 1-on-1. I would say an even 1-on-1 as long as Beastmaster doesn't leave the lane. But Demon gets an inch, and he takes a mile. And right now, level 10, sure, your Tinker's being denied, but Broodmother is the kind of hero that can really help Tinker find that time, find that space to farm, especially with these towers being knocked down. I would like to see a pretty quick gem pickup here for the Beastmaster once he gets some levels into the Hawk. As well as the mech being available soon, so if they want to buy it, that will mean a support has to do so. That's going to be a ways off. Otherwise, for CLG, it's middle lane, where Misery gets caught out. Cold Feet, Magic Missile, sitting around in rage form, and he's going to pay for it with his life. I don't know about that decision. Disruption to start. Clap is available. Purge on the Universe. There's your Ravage. Hits beautifully on 3. There's no Panda ult available, but look at the damage coming out. The March Machine's driving everyone back. Everybody lives, but a Ravage blown for nothing. Not really the best trade.
Yeah, more like a defensive Ravage to make sure his teammates didn't die, which, I mean, it's a fair use of it, but yeah, it's a 150-second cooldown. It's not going to do too much. On the bot lane here, Broodmother, again, doing a lot of right-click, forcing back the Beastmaster, but Beastmaster, I think he's fine. He's got his he's got his mech now in just a couple gold, and with that mech being up, they could fight team fights a little bit aggressively, provided they don't allow Demon to push their Rex.
Still such an even game, but, you know, it's Broodmother applying pressure on one side of the map, and then it's everybody else in EG playing so defensively on the other side. All 4 of these heroes grouping up together, sitting far back. pusherstreet still only level 5, 14 minutes in. Sure, they ran an offensive tri-lane, so you don't expect the most levels, but he is really far behind. Boy, do they need that ultimate to try and slow down CLG's pressure. You talked about how the low druid is such a great push with Aegis. Even before he has it, though, he's a nuisance. Yeah. Top lane, Gush onto pajkatt, has the ult, really doesn't want to have to use it. He will be okay. Just able to get out of range. Getting close to that Blink Dagger as well. Bottom lane, the dive towards pusherstreet. Turns around here, and now a Ravage onto Demon. Should take a fall. The Demonic Purge being used, but the ultimate used by Demon. The lifesteal is happening, but I don't think it's going to be enough mech keeping everyone alive. Couple more right clicks, Demon will take a fall. Took them forever to get that kill. The Purge being used right before the Broodmother ultimate. Not enough in the end. 6-4 is the score. 14 minutes in. A little bit more action-packed. And still the pressure for Misery continues middle lane. Another swap, Gush, Magic Missile, Terror. Do they have the damage to bring him down? Looks like they do not. And in comes pajkatt with the ult. This will be a disaster if he drops it. No, there you go. Gonna throw out the ultimate. Where's the boulder toss? No, boulder toss! Oh, no.
Oh, man, a rare side missed micro on the pro game. Bug, pajkatt calls. Well, I guess that's one way to call it, but I don't see a boulder bash or a tornado, so...
Well, the cooldowns are there. Not sure what the bug was.
He said he cast a stun, but I didn't see any stun, so maybe animation or just, well, whatever that might be, pusherstreet is going to be dying, and he's not going to be able to blame on bug or anything. Boba TP's in as well, another teleportation. They want to make sure they defend him and the tower. Very big TPs coming from EG, and they do defend this big place.
Boy, wouldn't they have liked to have had the Brewmaster ultimate there? You're right, they do defend, but that was an expensive defense. A lot of TPs thrown in there, and in the end, CLG content to sort of walk away. Misery is just playing so aggressively in this middle lane, in spite of dying quite a few times, only having 64 CS. The early towers really helping out, and it looks like it will be a relic. He hasn't purchased anything else yet, and he's getting very close to it. With this tower, he would just about have it.
Right. Tower not going to get defended upon because all those TP went to the bot lane, but the big smoke is going to be coming right in. Ravage is available. They want Fear to run on the front line. Ironically, no. And seems like CLG, they just know exactly where the enemy is. They're going to back up just in time to prevent a gank, but it looks like they do see Misery. Misery gets picked off yet once again. That's 1 and 3 on Misery. Misery generally pretty good at staying alive, but recently he's been picked off quite a bit.
You know, this is why we normally see Lone Druid in a side lane. It's just so much easier to gank, and there's so many more angles to approach from. Overall, you tend to be a bit closer to the enemy heroes because you're in the central area of the map. Instead of being off on the side lane where they have to run a lot longer, there's less angles to approach you from. Now, I'm not saying it's a mistake. He is putting a lot of pressure on the lane, but he's getting caught out too much at this point. Maybe you want to just send Venomancer mid like the Chinese teams like to do, drop a bunch of wards, control that lane, put your Lone Druid in a protected lane, and get that relic up. It would have been quite quick, especially for the amount of deaths he's had, but now it's starting to get to the point where it's delayed. Yeah.
And of course, you can't really do too much in terms of warding to stop that kind of smoke gank. It's just going to happen. You gotta just rely on map awareness and perhaps a little bit of defensive TP to bail them out. We do see still Lacoste have not left the lane. He's farming very beautifully. Has a mech, has a soul ring as well as Triangle boots. I wonder what the next item choice is. I want to see a Necro book. Gem would be extremely good, like you mentioned earlier as well. More utility items always good. If he wants to go for initiation like a Blink Dagger, that would be pretty nice as well.
Yeah, he's got his options. I guess the takeaway here is this is a Broodmother who just had a great start. She is out farming him by a decent amount right now. And actually, let's take a look at her net worth for the first time in the game. Yeah, Demon leading the way, close to an Orchid. This will really this will make it very difficult for anyone to stand alone bottom lane. They're at least going to have to carry TPs. And Fear, if he's in the right place at the right time, which so far he has been all game, with Demon together, they can find the kills on this bottom lane. But the Orchid choice, we'll have to see how it pays off. I mean, there's a Beastmaster, so BKB maybe not the best option, as well as Entangle. But Demon's still pretty squishy overall. We saw before he got focused. He definitely still can be. But you're right, this Beastmaster really farming well, and it's impressive because Broodmother's not an easy hero to lane against, especially in the hands of Demon.
Again, we see a game that's very, very slow in the mid game, and who do you think this favors?
As far as the graphs go, it's pretty even. The problem for me with EG's lineup is they have so many heroes that really tail off in the mid to late game. You talked about it last game with Broodmother, how she can be kited. She's just not normally the best carry. She wins by getting early towers, controlling the map, and getting an item and gold advantage, level and gold advantage, I should say. Getting those big damage items before other carries. If she breaks even, it's gotta favor CLG. Sure, Panda can be somewhat countered by BKB, but Ravage can as well, and I just feel with a Beastmaster or Lone Druid, in that mid to late game scenario, they're going to be so tanky. You talked about the push power. They also have the dire advantage. I don't think EG have enough right now. The difference maker for me is going to be Bulba. And I guess the question is, what will he go for item-wise? Will he be able to find openings around the map? There's not really that many easy kills, and even though EG is finding kills with Fear's great smoke eggs, they're expensive ones. It requires 2-3 heroes every time.
Yeah. And I mean, right now he's getting a little bit of farm time, which I absolutely love on Vengeful Spirit. Get that tier up, get that level 2 swap, which basically increase range to make it a very reliable initiation tool. And he's constant jungle with a spiraling. That's the way you do it. A lot of Chinese team do it, and Fear now getting all the EXP bonus that he needs to hit that level 11. Now with the level 11 ultimate, who do you want to swap though? That's the big thing. Do you want to swap your Panda and try to pick him up before he ultimates? It's kind of a big risk because his ultimate has a very, very low casting time. Do you want to stop off like the Misery and try to focus him down while the Panda initiates on you? You can have the initiation, but there's just no good hero to initiate onto.
Right. Plus there's a Shadow Demon. So if you don't initiate on Panda, he'll blink and drop the ult, and suddenly the fight looks pretty bad for you. If you initiate on anybody else, including the Panda, as AO flows bottom, not actually going to connect on Beastmaster. Demon pops the ult just for a little bit of pushing. But yeah, if you initiate on anyone else, Shadow Demon can easily turn that fight around. So there's just no good targets, and that's for CLG. That's the beauty of their lineup, is their supports just offer so much defensively. EG's pretty good with the A ult to stop pushes, but in a team fight, I would much rather have a disruption. I'd much rather have the Venomous Gale to slow everyone down than to have things like Magic Missile or Swap. Still, EG, they do have decent initiation with that bench. If they catch heroes out of position, that's where they can look to find the kills. But I feel right now for EG that overall, the pressure is more on them, and Demon is trying to provide that pressure towards the bottom lane, so we'll have to see if it's enough.
Yep. Just checking on net worth more as we see Demon climb ahead a little, a little bit by little. Demon is, I mean, here's the thing with Demon. Like you mentioned and like I mentioned, what is he really gonna do? His next item is gonna be a black team bar, imagine. But that's just gonna bait a war out of him. He's never really gonna right click anybody down. Given that there's so much time for people to build 4 staffs and ghost scepters right now, I just don't know. I just don't know what a demon carry this game.
Even if it's something like a Manta style, I mean, again, even if you jump on a hero, Broodmother is single target damage, so there's always disruption. The defensive capabilities that we talked about for CLG. And you know, BKB can be countered by Entangle, can be countered by Roar. I feel the only way Demon's going to be that big damage dealer is with 3-4 items, and by that point, you got to expect Lone Druid to be quite big. So once again, we're seeing a slow game. Last game, we thought EG had the edge if they could hang on, but CLG just massively outfarmed them. This game, I give CLG the edge, and I think you do as well, and it's too even right now. So EG, they are content to farm, get up those core items. Venge does scale well with the level. She's got maxed out Wave of Terror. Gonna have that level 2 swap soon. Maybe once they get that, that's where they're gonna make their move. But for the moment, it's just a very, very passive game. Interesting because, especially for EG, they've been known to be very aggressive, whether it's pushing or going for kills. This is not normally their style, but I feel they're kind of being forced into it.
The CLG generally very aggressive as well. Too aggressive team playing defensive Dota here. Big smoke gang going to mid lane. pajkatt already with this blink dagger. They do see pusherstreet, and oh no, pusherstreet is gonna get picked off for sure. No initiation right now here for Miracle. Gonna use. Do they see him? They finally see him. Not gonna use the roar. And that's the correct choice here. Don't want to expense this. Do you want to go into Roche Pit right now, or do you defend and just play the farm game?
Well, someone's got to defend, that's for sure. And I like the fact that Fear's lurking here in the wings. If they catch a single hero like Misery, maybe they'll try and go in. Broodmother ult pop, the silence pop, the entangle, and a creep swap in by Fear, the magic missile. Can they bring him down? Multiple TPs should be coming in. Just one for now. Misery's going to live, and now Demon on the back foot. Is there detection? Dust is blown. Where's the roar? No roar, blinking by pajkatt. Where is that roar? In the end, they go for Fear. Probably not the hero you want to kill, but they do get him. And now the Gale onto Demon. Oh, he's caught out in the river a long way from home, Lumi, and I think he will take a fall as well. There's your purge. Demon will go down. And if they didn't want to go Roche before, they definitely do now. And guess what? How convenient. They're at the Roche pit already.
With the double damage here on pajkatt, they are just right-clicking down. No medallion courage, but I do believe they have more than enough right-click power. And the bear being microed around. Meanwhile, the hero in the base regenning up for now. And with this Aegis on the Scylla bear, I mean, that was a very, very big gank on the Scylla. With Terror, Broodmother right-click, they couldn't bring him down. I don't think they will be bringing down Misery anytime soon, given the fact that now he has Aegis and a cloak on the hero.
You know, I really liked that choice by EG, even though it didn't work out, because what they were trying to do there is not so much go for the kill, but stop that Roshan attempt that you were talking about. Getting that pick, forcing the TPs, if only one hero dies there, they probably don't give away the Aegis. At least it's not as guaranteed. Unfortunately, CLG just outplayed them. A little bit unlucky there. And Lodra just showing how tanky of a beast he can be. Universe trying to run away. Ravage available. Aegis could be blown here. Ravage will be used. Ult's going to hit, but look at Misery. Too tanky. And now the bear. The work continues. And the game lagging for me. Uh-oh, there's a pause. What a time for a pause.
And this is a very, very good time for EG to realize that they just blown their best teamfight ultimate. Now all they have right now is a freaking magic missile for a stun. That's it. And the force that backwards here. pusherstreet also uses ultimate, but he's going to be going down. Defensive swap here on the right side here. And look at Veer just doing a lot of work. Nice defensive self-disruption here. Veer still trying to do all the right click. And Veer trying to get a double kill. Not going to get it. The mech up here, the self-earn. And that's going to be CLG taking a tier 2 for sure. 3 supports are dead. Broodmother not going to leave the lane and come back to defend. Of course, Tinker can't really do it by himself. So a free tier 2, although we will see CLG immediately TPing back to defend the bottom tower.
I'm not so sure they will. They have a Panda ultimate. Tied on a Ravage was used. Sure, the Spiderlings are bottom. Maybe you send one hero back, but I think they're going to go for it. And in fact, it looks like they feel the same way. No, maybe not. Now this is, you know, they're ahead, so really why risk it? It makes sense not to go for it. But I think they could have done it if they wanted to. Still, they're going to play it safe. Demon's going to pressure bottom. Demon doing a brilliant job of stalling this game out. And he's going for Manta, which, the way the game is progressing, I think this is the better choice than BKB. Aside from, you know, the fact that it's not that effective against Entangle and Roar, it's just going to let him split push faster. And really, that's what he's got to do, is buy all kinds of time.
Wait, nobody on the CLG team has a teleport scroll. Chicken was delivering teleport score right in the tier 2 tower. Man, they lost about 1,000 damage on their tower off, I guess, slight item mistakes. I cannot believe I'm seeing this in this level of gameplay.
Well, there was an... Yeah, there's still... I was going to say maybe it's the Aegis, the Druid didn't have a TP, and perhaps some other heroes used it. But no, it just didn't have them. Still, in the end, they defend. I don't think Demon knew that they didn't have TPs. He was expecting them to retreat sooner. If he really wanted to, he probably could have knocked down the tower. So a little bit unfortunate for him not realizing it. But yeah, very uncharacteristic. And now pajkatt in some trouble. TPM from Tinker. pajkatt should take a fall. Has the ultimate. Not going to use it. Big kill there. Look at the goal towards Demon. That Manta style not far off.
Yeah. I love the fact that he's going for Manta style instead of BKB. Yes, BKB makes you kind of invulnerable to the magical damage, but the Dire team really full of physical damage at this point. Of course, the Silver being one of them, you need the Manta style to debuff yourself out of that entangle. And of course, there's a BKB there's a Beastmaster roar always waiting for you. So that Black King bar not going to give you too much right click time. Back on the mid lane here, EG getting a little bit of momentum with that bot kill. Panda dead for 25 more seconds, and they want that tier 1 mid. Now with the Marching Machine on the background, they can actually easily take it down. No defense being mounted by the Dire. And the tier 1 tower now goes to EG. EG, I mean, we're talking about how defensive they were having, how tough they've been. Demon being completely caught out though. Easily, essentially dead.
Oh, so screwed. He will take a fall. Tier 1 for Demon. I'm actually going to say not really a good trade because Demon is so far ahead. He's really the most important hero right now in EG. Still, he dies very far away from his base, so it's not like CLG will get a Rex. It's not like they're going to get a big tower, although there were some pings going towards the tier 2. I believe that was actually from EG's side. So they get the kill on Demon, but nothing really coming out of it. In exchange for tier 1, not an awful trade by any means. I guess EG have to slow roll this, but I'm not sure it's going to work.
I don't think it's going to work. If they slow roll this, the longer the game goes, the more ineffective your Broodmother is going to be, the more Dire advantage is going to exert out of that Roshan pit. They're going to get more farm. Look at how aggressively they're farming all over the map. They're finally going to clear this tier 1. And there's going to be no defense here. With Beastmaster, you're going to be facing less and less ganks because that Hawk's always going to be up in the air. It's going to be more difficult for the Radiant team to get ganks off. I just feel like that if it goes on the long run, because of Dire positioning, because of the hero that CLG have, they're going to get the farming advantage.
I'm with you. And Beastmaster picks up the Necro 3, which this is not a Necro 3 in any old game. This is a Necro... it's only a Necro 2 now. It will be a Necro 3 soon. But this is a Necro 2 going towards Necro 3 in a game where you have a lone Druid, which means that push is now coming even harder and even faster. Bulba gets caught out a long way from his base. Should go down here. A couple more right clicks. Trying his best to survive. Great swap again, but just not enough. And in the end, they'll get one. They want to turn 2 here. Can they catch Fear? Fear pretty tanky. Stuns the bear. I gotta say, about as perfect as you can play Avenge this game. Doing work in these team fights like you mentioned before. They get one, but pajkatt, oh, what a blink away. There's a roar into Demon. Ravage on 4. Great Ravage. And Beastmaster defensively disrupted. Maelk gets thrown. Fear going down. Everybody on CLG kind of low and out of position, but they're just not able to do it. Demon getting dove towards the base. That is one angry bear. Blink and clap. The Radiance Burn at long range gets the kill, and now they want more. They're out for blood. They want to end the game now. Triple kill onto Misery. Disruption as well, the TPN. Everything. Demon trying to do whatever he can to hang on, but it looks like he will take a fall. And this was a buyback death. Aegis expelled, but it doesn't look like it will matter. CLG poised not only to take game 2, but to advance into the grand finals and face off against IG.
Wow, the difference it makes for Panda Ultimate and a Ravage. I mean, the Ravage hit everything, but the defensive disruption kept Beastmaster alive. So important to keep him alive because the aura he gives for his team, as well as the healing with the secondary mech, the Necro 3 being popped. That was a bulldozer move being by CLG. They got the tier 2, they got, they got 1 kill, 2 kills, 3 kills, got the racks. And now with CLG up by so much, they could, again, continue to claim the Dire advantage. Roshan back in about 4.5 minutes. They haven't even lost tier 1 up top yet. As I say that, the Season is going to get the last hit there. Very unfortunate for pajkatt on a slow TP, but, I mean, that's fine. They lost the tier 1 top for two towers on the bot as well as the racks. They'll be happy to take that one. Acceptor up on the Beastmaster as well as 2.4k gold. I mean, CLG right now is filthy rich.
Yeah, the problem with Tidehunter's Ravage, if you're in this kind of a playing from a disadvantage, is it's all about the burst damage. If you don't get that initial kill, like you said, the disruption is available. It's not like a Panda Ultimate where you get multiple boulder tosses off. You can cyclone multiple heroes in the air during a team fight. You gotta get a kill when it happens, and they just don't have the burst damage right now. It doesn't help the Demon got picked off. It doesn't help that he wasn't fighting with the team. But even if they fought in a true 5v5, I'm just not sure it would have been sufficient. Force that in, into a disruption, soul catcher as well. Fear is going to get caught out. That swap's not going to save him. He's played really well on this Venge, but it's just the Venge as a hero doesn't do enough for them right now. 820 swap. Oh, I love it. And now they're going to come in. That bulldozer, it's back online. The key's in the ignition. They're going for a second later X.
It was lightning fast reflexes, but not fast enough. Not fast enough.
Anderson with the ... Oh, this is such a treat.
Chinese love their ... It's like 8 emotions at once.
Well, you know, it's like whatever you want it to say, right?
Yeah, exactly.
If you don't like the way people interpret it, or you don't like, you know, how it might be perceived, like, oh no, that's not what I meant. And if you did, they're like, yeah, that's exactly what I meant. So you keep your options open with that one.
CLG gonna try to push up the hill here. It's gonna be somewhat difficult against the Marcher Machine. The Marcher Machine, I think killing Bulba was the absolute key last engagement. With Bulba out of the playing field, I mean, sure you could Ravage, sure you could Broodmother. Where's the damage actually gonna come from? It really comes from just from the Marcher Machine, and without him again available, it's very easy to push.
And it also goes back to the draft as well for CLG. They have so many heroes that are very tanky. And the ones who aren't tanky, that being the... well, Shadow Demon's actually pretty big at this point, just from all the levels he has. Level 13, Power Treads and Urn, but even when Venomancer and Shadow Demon were squishy, they have defensive capabilities. And then you look at the 3 frontline heroes, the Lone Druid, the Panda, and the Beastmaster, and they're just beastly tanks. Speaking of beastly tanks, here comes that bear. And Assault Cuirass picked up on him. Oh, they can't even kill it once, let alone twice. This is going to be big, big trouble for CLG. This game, once again, has that aura of inevitability about it that we saw in game number 2. I don't think it's going to take as long, but we'll see. Maybe EG can stall this out. Maybe they can still turn things around. It ain't over until the fat lady sings. It ain't over until that Rax goes down. But Demon is in a lot of trouble bottom right now.
He sees it coming. He's going to run to the right side. I feel like this game here, EG is going to have a lot more difficult time hanging on because what they're doing right now is more prone to mistake, because it's one thing to have 5 defending in the base and have perfect positioning in the base. It's a different ordeal when you have, as we see engagement here, pajkatt gonna get focused, pushing this, and he's gonna pop his ultimate. Cyclone, self-cyclone.
Wow, love it.
Wow, on pajkatt.
Perfect choice versus the... I mean, really, to deal with a lot of these heroes, now Fear's gonna take a fall. But that dodges the cold feet, and that's sort of the cute little combo that EG had going for them to lock him down in team fights. That's not available anymore. Well-timed Mule Scepter is gonna negate it. I love the pickup. Yeah.
But like I said, they can't really push. Like Demon's doing this thing, cutting off the creep wave on the bot lane. They're trying to cut off the creep wave on the mid lane. Universe should be fine. As this is it gonna get entangled? Of course. First hit entangle against Universe. Universe blink clapping the right click from. How does pajkatt always have a double damage? Well, no. Really using the Ravage right there. I gotta say that was a huge blunder. And now the war goes on Bulba, and Bulba's gonna pick it off. And that's going to be the second rack.
And it's all downhill from here. That Ravage forced out. I don't even know if he had buyback. I want to check in one sec. But his pusherstreet gets entangled. Will die in the shadow of his own fountain. Look at that bear doing work. Demon is going for the base trade. All chatting got this. Yeah, I don't think so, but I appreciate his gumption here. The Necro 3 gets popped. And look at this. It's not even a bulldozer. I mean, a wrecking ball. Whatever sort of a freight train, whatever analogies you want to work with. CLG have all of those. If there's a brick wall in this game, CLG just punched a gigantic hole in it, and now they're going for Mega Creeps. GG gets called by Bulba. Good luck, wish towards CLG. The last Western hope in this tournament will be facing off against the final team left standing from the East, IG versus CLG. I am so excited for this best out of 3. Will be starting, should be right after the series. Might have a brief break, but that will be coming up soon. Some heroes died at the fountain. A little bit of snarky comments and all chat.
I love Boba calls GG, good luck in the final. Fear says, you're not captain, play on. I love it. I love it.
You know, Boba he gets bullied a little bit out of all the EG boys. 700 gold going the way of Tinker. Boba will definitely put that in his piggy bag, but it's Mega Creeps now. This is all just for the laughs and the giggles. There's no way they come back from this. I'm confident. I'm calling it now. A little Soul Catcher Disruption, the defensive Yule Scepter, the blink away. God, that's such an obnoxious. That's actually, I love this. This is, I'm having flashbacks to Cinderin's Yule Scepter or Night Stalker. But here it's even more important because now you make sure you get off that big ult. I really like this build, especially in this game. Not that it matters now. He could have a Mask of Madness and they'd still be winning at this point.
Also, in the sense that Yule Scepter, when you have the blink dagger, is always very nice as an escape mechanism, because you always get that blink dagger off.
Oh, yeah.
Initiation here from Mirakel.
So,
nice.
So do we actually favor CLG? They've looked so strong all tournament long, and really as of late in general. I believe the only team they've lost to recently is Bottom Bottom in the defense, and Bottom Bottom was riding a huge hot streak there.
Right.
But aside from that, they've looked pretty good. If anyone can take down IG, it just might be this team.
I don't know. I feel like both these teams have such a different playstyle. I have never seen these two teams go against each other. It's actually very hard to say, and I like it. I don't want to go into final already knowing what to win, you know? None of that Navi effect coming up here, so...
Well, they call it a demon pause for a reason.
Yeah.
That was pretty sick, I gotta say. Good timing there.
Getting a self-yo keeping pajkatt alive and Demon trying to 1v18. Really can't do it, although right now Miracle's gonna get picked up.
Oh,
Demon is gonna get picked up for you. Worth it.
Well, it is a spider, you can't really expect it to man up. Worth it indeed. Better, might as well get the kill. Pad those stats a little bit. We have our second and final contender here in the grand finals. It is CLG. Game number 2 goes their way as well. This game a lot more one-side. 28-8 your final score. Big lead in the gold graph. Huge lead in the experience graph as well. CLG take down EG, albeit without maelk, their captain, their core support and jungler player. We didn't see those junglers picked up in this series. And maybe it cost them. In the end, though, EG, it was a valiant effort, just not enough. Don't go anywhere, guys. We will be having the grand finals directly after this match. Might be a short delay, but it should be coming up momentarily. CLG versus IG, East versus West. It's what I was personally praying and hoping for all tournament long. We get a treat, a great preview as we work towards the international. I am excited, Lumi. I'm going to try and keep myself under control here, but game number 2 is coming up the next series coming up momentarily. I am LD, he is Luminous, both of us from dotacommentaries.com. You're watching Beyond the Summits World Tour, and don't you dare leave those seats because the second best out of 3 of the day, CLG versus IG, the grand finals, is coming your way soon. We'll see you on the other side, guys.